So it's been a minute since I put any content on the internet, especially official content. I've shared some snippets of stuff I'm working on. Been in the middle of a move that took some time. I've been invited to into a very interesting project, and some of the results of that, some of the things that have been yielded, is what I'm going to share today. This was supposed to be a devlog about a PS1 style racing game that I was developing, kind of sharing my learning experiences and showing off some of my skill sets. That took a back burner because this right here is revolutionary stuff. So we've created some workflows in the AI space. And AI has been a super important tool on making a lot of these things happen. And I'm just going to kind of show you what you can do when you compound these results. I believe this kind of stuff is ready for game design. I believe this kind of stuff is ready for virtual production. So without further ado, let's get into what we've got going on here. This is just simply, this is a starter kit that comes with your first-person controller inside of Unity. We've got our bean, we've got a camera, we've got some geometry. The interesting stuff's over here. Let's get a guy that's going to act as an NPC. Normal 3D model. It's got a little 2D toon shader texture. You know, kind of match the whole aesthetic here. Breath of the Wild type of stuff. What's important about this guy is he looks like some normal asset that you could download off of Sketchfab. But this guy was actually generated from 2D images that were generated in AI using stable diffusion. Now, our lead developer in this art department spent a lot of time building LoRa's and models to come up with these character models. And it takes a lot of upfront time to get consistency. And that's what we've been after the whole time, consistency. So we take those generated models, 2D images, we feed them into this program, Kadum. And kind of goes through what Kadum it does. You have your multiple images that you feed into. I believe you can even use text to image generation to kind of say that's something in your mind and you can't draw it out. You can feed it into the system and they'll use that image. Then they take that generated image and it turns it into a 3D model. The AI does that all itself. But this is the important part. There's actually an artist that goes over and refines this model in Blender or whatever tools that they're using before they spit it out to you. So there's not, because a lot of the free stuff that's out there, this is a paid model, by the way. A lot of the free stuff out there has like real bad topology. It looks like mashed potatoes. And then they give you a model to download. And what's super cool about that is once you have your model, you can then feed said model into Mixamo. And then now you have a fully rigged, fully animated 3D character that, like I said, was generated from a 2D image. So AI has got us 2D image. AI has gotten us 3D model. AI has also assisted us in rigging and animating this character. So now you've got a character that is completely ready to drop into a video game and do whatever. And that's pretty much what we've done here. The cool thing about Kadum also, let me see if I can pull up this window. Here, let's pull up. Is it the inspector? It's not the inspector. It's our hierarchy. All right, so if we click on our guy here, got our guy Ben, Kadum slices this mesh into multiple pieces. And what's great about that is if we get in here and we click on Ben's shirt and we pull back up the inspector. No, that's not what we want. We don't want the inspector, we want the assets. If we pull up the project file here, I've got a material of a different color shirt. I can bring this in, if I can touch it, and I can just change the material. So you can set up separate materials, and they attach to different pieces of the model. So in case you wanted to take that approach, in case you didn't want to create an entire texture and worry about how it was UV mapped and all of that, you're able to create textures, materials inside of your editor, do whatever changes you want to in your shader graph, and then attach them right to your model. And that's become super important for testing and prototyping our characters has been able to do this. It's taken one step out of the situation. Now, what we're still attempting to do is to project the 2D image onto the character. And now what's cool is we can chop this up. So now we can solely work on the head, we can solely work on the clothing, we can slowly work on any type of accessories and refine that in any way that we want to. And then whatever we decide to project onto, we can use that. So now Ben here has materials on him. He is fully rigged. He is fully animated. But the thing that I've done is I've taken this a step further. Like, that's enough. You could play with Ben. You could use Ben right now, and he could jump, flip, kick. You can attach a controller to him. We've set him up in scenes, and he's been animated to record scenes with for cutscenes for the other part of the actual project that we're doing with some of these characters. But we're going to take it just one step further. This is in-world. What in-world allows you to do is in-world listens to your microphone, and it uses a language model a lot like ChatGPT. And then you can fill this entire, there's so many options on personality, motivations, flaws. You can set up example dialogue that he frequently uses. You can increase his talking speed, the pitch of his voice, so many things. We won't go too deep into this, but what this allows us to do, we get back to Ben. You see, he's got this audio listener. Well, I need to stop using that button. That scroll is way too intense. Click on Ben as a whole. So what in-world does is it gives us a preset that we can kind of drag and drop in here. And this preset has the listener for it, for our microphone. It has all of that back-end dialogue. Now, the character that we are using is this character Mike. And I haven't swapped everything out because this is the testing phase. I haven't swapped everything out to give all of the information that Ben would have. But you can set your entire character up with the world, the lore that he has, the type of personality he has, and you can have this really interactive experience. So not only is he that NPC that you can just go up, press A, and he's got pre-selected. I'll show you. Let's put Ben. Ben's got this weird thing going on too, where he wants to float in the sky. Let's put him in the ground a little bit, so he'll be standing there when we get there. And let's push play and let's show you what Ben's capable of doing. Hello there.
We are running out of time.
Why so urgent?
We are probably already too late.
Too late for what?
What year is this?
He's listening to me. Don't tell him to go this way. He's not listening to me.
We don't have much time left. The AI, it's growing stronger every day. We need to act to stop its creation before it's too late. Can you help me?
Help you with what?
We must find the one who holds the key, the one who possesses the knowledge to prevent the birth of the machine. Will you join me in this quest?
What quest is that?
The quest to alter the course of history, to rewrite the future. We need to find the origin, the genesis of the artificial intelligence. Only then can we dismantle its creation and save.
Okay, I was worried he wasn't listening to me at first, simply because sometimes my mic doesn't pick up loud enough for him to understand. All right, so Mike has this backstory. The AI is coming to take over. He will get long-winded. Now what I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to show you kind of what the power of this thing is. He's always going to reset to that story. He's always going to set back to his narrative. But instead of just doing a repeat thing like a lot of NPCs do, if you set this up diligently enough, if you go through and you really refine his personality, his story, and you fill out all that. I just basically dropped, this was kind of a copy paste, drop in, very cliche, very simple thing, just to get him running. But if I went in really deep into how he's set up and make sure all the check boxes are checked and everything is done, he will naturally try to bring himself back to that conversation. So let's go back in here, and this time I'm just going to try to pull him off the path as much as possible, and you'll see how he kind of reacts. And now this guy's very flat. I didn't give him much personality, so this guy's going to be very kind of dull. But you can set this up so he's like a hypochondriac, he's angry, he's very happy, he's whatever, and then he will kind of default to those personalities. Howdy, partner.
Well, well, well. If it isn't Jesse, how's life treating you, old pal?
I'm pretty bummed.
Oh, I see. Sorry to hear that, partner. What seems to be the problem? Maybe I can help you out.
I'm kind of hungry. Do you want to go get some pizza?
Pizza, huh? You know, I've been craving something savory myself. Sure, let's grab a slice. But I have a feeling we'll be discussing more than just toppings.
Okay, and what would that be?
The fate of humanity, my friend. The fate of humanity.
That sounds kind of lame. Let's just go get tacos instead.
Tacos it is, then. But we'll be talking about more than just salsa and guacamole. You can count on it.
All right, that was still unexpected. See, it still surprises me. I didn't expect him to really go with the flow as well as he did on that. I was like, when is he going to get back to talking about doom and gloom, end of the world? And like I said, his personality is kind of flat. If I would have adjusted it more so that this mission he was talking about was more dire to him, he would have been more insistent. Instead, he kind of just went with the flow, and that's just it. Like you can have these natural conversations with your NPCs inside of your game. Plus, this can be used as an interactive experience. Let's say you create a project and you've got all these characters involved. You can then go in and set up a 3D world and just have your people, have your users come in and just interact with these characters and get more of a backstory. Because sometimes when you're writing, you can't shove everything into the story because you're trying to take the user on a journey, and sometimes you can't bog them down with too much backstory, or it just gets too overwhelming or boring. This is the perfect way after the fact to be able to like go in and meet these people, talk to these people, have real conversations with them. And then, like I said, the beautiful thing about this is this was from start to finish, with help of a handful of tools. This was AI. AI got us here. AI got us from here to here to eventually here. And then this is the end result. And with as much imagination as possible, I think it could go even further. And that's where I plan on taking. I plan to create full worlds in this way. Have Chat GPT or whatever language model I use help me generate, a world, a lore, a backstory get some really deep in-depth characters, flesh them out visually with 2D, and then bring them in, create them into 3D models, take those 3D models, send them back, into a game engine like this, or into any virtual production studio, and create a story, create an experience, with AI right there, not as the big evil takeover machine, such as Mike is talking about here, Ben, aka Mike, whatever we're going to call this guy. He thinks it's doom and gloom. It's the end of times. Instead, I think this is the next Photoshop. This is the next 3D Studio Max. This is the tool that you put in your toolbox and help you create cool things. All right, until next time, whatever platform you're on, hit the like, subscribe, drop a comment. Let's talk about this. Let's see if we can create even cooler workflows, because that's what I'm about. More consistency, easier, faster. Let's get to the point. Let's get our stories together. Let's get them out there for the world to see as fast as possible and as efficiently as possible. All right, until next time.